Going to go smooth. We are starting our recording. Hello and welcome to your Week 1 TEM lecture, Technology and Entertainment Media Industries. My name is Lionel Jacques and I am your course director for the class. Sorry about this cough. I'm going to be muting periodically so I don't blow out the microphone. I was lucky enough to get sick right at the start of Christmas break. It was wonderful. That way there was plenty of time to rest. But I am your course director for Technology and Entertainment Media. I'm the one who wrote the program, wrote the curriculum. And you may have another instructor that's overseeing your particular section. That's okay. They're usually one of my ACDs. And they or myself are happy to help you with any problems you're having. Just be proactive, reach out to us, and we'll be happy to help. So, oh goodness, this is going to be a lot of pauses. I apologize. Goodness gracious. All right, well, I will start by saying happy 2019. Happy New Year to everybody. It's good to see the majority of folks are here and back and ready to start school. Some people, I'm sure, are going to get confused and not realize they had class this week because they're in the habit of relaxing and not checking their computer. So for all of you that are here, that's a giant plus. Good work. Start 2019 on a positive and we'll be good to go. Now, Technology and Entertainment Media is an umbrella class that covers 10 different degree programs here at Full Sail. And the reason we're an umbrella class is we are striving to build learning communities with all of you guys. So what a learning community is basically networking opportunities where you learn a little bit about the other person's industries and a little bit about the other person's degree programs, because all of your fields are related and share a particular common feature that's unique to your degrees. Does anyone know what that is? What is it that all of your degrees, the cloud technology, mobile dev, technology, that's right, exactly. And the key with the technology is that you are all in a creative, constructionist, creation driven industry that uses technology to drive what it is you're making and the message you're trying to get out there. And that's true across the board. Whether you're here for developing and you're a hardcore coder, or you are somebody who is an artistic soul who's sketched and drawn your whole life and is here for computer animation or game art, or if you are a graphic artist and a graphic designer, or you really like web pages and you have a great aesthetic eye for that and for logos and for motion graphics and all the different stuff that we cover in all your classes. So the key thing with that, again, is that you're using technology to integrate and to overlap. And then we have all of you in this class together because a lot of you work on different stages of the same projects. So in your professional life, you might not meet each other again, obviously, but you might. You never know. And a lot of opportunities come from networking and network connections that you grow and develop now. So that's what we focus on in this class. Afraid I don't think the audio is going to come through. You guys hear the audio? I don't think so. We seem to be having an issue with this. Okay, well that's me. Different shirt, and eyes closed in an awkward pose there. We'll pause right there. But basically, if you have not watched the overview, it tells you what the main focus of our class is, and again, that is technology. A key part of that is you guys are all coming from a fan aspect in your particular industries. You may be an amateur in your industry. You may have already dabbled with creation in those particular things in your particular field. But you're coming here to school for an official degree in the job so that you can move forward as a professional. And part of that is changing your mindset. Who here regularly reads about technology? Be it on websites, news articles, magazines, whatever. Good. Because that's actually the key, and that's one of the things I want you to leave this class with, okay? It's great. One of my ACDs, some of you might have him, Chad Pusick, is a great guy. He has a computer animation degree from Full Sail. The day he graduated, like he walked across the stage, had his diploma. That afternoon, after he graduated, they announced ZBrush was coming out. So he had to go learn a whole new set of tools, a whole new program that he had no grounding in his education, because all of your fields constantly are changing, evolving, and updating things. Sorry about that. Trying to mute in time for the coughs, but not always making it. So this class, this month, we're going to really focus on exploring websites that are relevant to your industries, exploring your industries and terms that they use so that the websites make more sense. We're going to look into job opportunities. We're going to look into items that your industry might work on. We're going to talk about what stuff you'll learn in your degree programs. We're going to have you guys network some back and forth and start some discussions. All of that sort of stuff. It's all going to help you grow. There is research in the class. It is something you have to do. It's not something I added because I'm like, yeah, it'll be funny. I'll make Chris and Erica read articles. No, it's because you have to if you're staying current. Who here's in mobile dev, as an example? Any mobile dev? Mobile development? No? Okay. So, Corey, you know Apple updates their Swift language. That's the programming language all Apple devices use. They update that every year, right? So there's keynotes about it, the changes, what coding commands have depreciated and are no longer used, the new ones they've added, the new protocols, all sorts of stuff. It's the same for Android. The devices change, the names change in Java, how they word stuff, how they work stuff. It's across the board in all your degrees. So part of the importance of research is not just because I want you to spend your time reading, it's because you have to see what's coming so you can prepare yourself. My favorite example of that is the movie, I can't remember, Hidden Figures, about NASA, the three black ladies that worked at NASA in the 50s and 60s. Did anyone see the movie? Anyone familiar with it? Okay. There's one particular lady that is a spectacular example of exactly what it is we're talking about here in this class and what I want you to get out of this class. Sorry about that. The head lady that was in charge of the human computers. If you're not familiar with the topic, NASA and our space program, before we had supercomputers that were relevant and available and able to do these things, utilized what they called human computers that were generally ladies who were spectacular math prodigies. So much so that they did real-time, they invented astrophysics. We had no idea how stuff moved and worked in space. And these ladies came up with this math. And they were able to do it in real time. So as our early space capsules were going up, these were the people that were figuring out the speed they needed to move at, the thrust they needed to adjust, and how they needed to compensate for gravity. One of the ladies in the movie, and the one that's the feature of this long-winded rambling story, is, I can't remember her name, but she was the head of that department. She didn't do the math herself. She was very smart. Yes, Kathy Johnson, thank you. She didn't do the math herself. She was the boss. She was the one who sent them on to their various assignments. Well, at the start of where the movie picks up, they're starting to install a IBM supercomputer at NASA. It's the first one. They're going to try using it for all the math. Well, she saw the computer engineers at the time trying to set it up and get it situated and figure it out. And she was able to deduce from this that their time, her department's time, is human computers, people who do math to help engineers solve problems. was probably coming to an end. So she used that insight to start going into that supercomputer room after hours, and she read the operating manuals. She read some books on Fortran so she'd understand the programming language. And it was really early day stuff for all of this. But she, using her insight that this change was coming and it was something she would rather be prepared for and embrace, put herself in a position where she actually became the head of the computing division at NASA for many, many years. And that exact example is the focus of this class. That is why we're having you research. It's not just because I want you to muck around on the internet and try to find out interesting facts. It's because in all of your industries, we need you to start reading industry sites so that you can see what trends are coming and what things are changing and how things are evolving. Because the only way you're going to prepare for that and be able to grow in your industry is because you need to understand these things. Eric, that's a great example. The company he works for is pushing towards cloud-based systems. Does anyone here know the term cloud? What is he talking about? What is a cloud-based system? Just type it in chat. Could be data storage, but it is also other stuff. It is online. It is a remote, off-site, either storage facility or programs. Does anyone here use Google Docs? Does anyone here use Hotmail or Gmail? Facebook? All of those, right? Those are all actual programs that are written and reside off-site from where you're working that you can access from a multitude of devices that you store images on, comments on, documents, sensitive information. That's cloud technology. That's a giant shift that's happened in the last 10 years. We put every single day, we put so much information, new information is created. It is the equivalent, if I recall the data correctly, 10,500 DVDs full of information every single day. It's enough to fill up like an average house, like a 1,000 square foot house. From floor to ceiling would be packed with DVDs with information just on the data that people on Earth today generated. That's a different category. That's not just cloud stuff. That's called big data. And people who are into that particular aspect of technology are the ones who basically figure out how we can interact with that. Because a house full of DVDs is really not much use if you can't actually find things in it and you don't understand what it is and all the other information. So all of this and this focus of this class is we want you guys to connect to your industry, to understand what's coming, what changes you might want to start preparing for, and how things work within your industry so they have an understanding. We also want you to have a connection and an understanding to your degree program. For some of you, you may be in, and I'm only saying these randomly, not saying you made a mistake. You may be in computer animation because you've grown up on video games and you love the cutscenes and all the graphic polish, and Red Dead Redemption is one of your favorite games, or Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of your favorite games. So that's awesome. But if you wanted to work on Red Dead Redemption 2, and we have 32 graduates that worked on it, including a horse team. We have 2 of the students that went through my class years ago were in charge of horses and animating horses. So that was cool. But that's actually game art. That's not computer animation. So if you are someone who loves modeling stuff on the computer and you're in game art and you're like, oh, I actually want to do stuff for like people, like to watch, not as part of a game. So it's the same thing with development. And oh, this cough is going to just drive me crazy. But it's one of those things that we want you to be prepared. We want to make sure you understand your industry, you understand where to look and how to track upcoming changes in it. And we want you to know what your degree program is about and what it entails and what you're going to be learning. So that's the focus of the class. The third thing we want you to connect with is actually yourself. Not yourself in a, hey, kumbaya, let's all hug and work this out, but more, oh, goodness. But more in a what it is to be professional, because all of your industries are group-based. Almost every single one of you will be working on a team of other industry professionals, and you have to understand responsibility and professional behavior and how to interact with people in a professional manner that you might not even like, because that's what's expected of you. That's called adulting. So we go a bit into that as well and help you figure out what your goals are and how you're going to get to that particular spot. So the three things, again, that TEM focuses on is connecting to your industry, connecting to your degree program, and connecting to professional behaviors. Okay? So the rest of this one, I'm going to briefly cover the 2 assignments that are due this week. And then when I'm done a particular section, so after I'm done talking about 1.1, you are free to ask any questions you might have on 1.1, and then I'll talk about 1.2, and we'll move on from there with questions on that. Do you guys have any questions about the class in general? Precious says materials needed. You need internet connection and either an iPad or device that can connect to FSO. And everything in this class is designed to be functional, either directly via the website in a web browser, or with some of the cloud stuff we talked about earlier. So Google Docs, that kind of stuff. As long as you have that, you're good to go. If you are in an area with poor internet connection, look up how to use your phone as a hotspot so that you can at least utilize the data bandwidth on your phone program in your cell to get the projects uploaded and take care of. Joseph, you'll be doing a video in the final week. There won't be any posters, though. Some of it's research. Some of it you can get as creative as you want. And it's one of those things where the assignments have a structure and you're allowed creative freedom within that particular structure. The community discussion boards are not graded. Those are... mine's going to look entirely different than yours, but I'll show you. Now, some of them are graded. These are all the classes I ever see, and all my little ACDs. See if I find one of my sections. All right, so if we look in week 1, this community discussion week 1, that is not something that's graded. It has a 0 weight, right? We see that? If we go, let's see, I think week 2. Yes. Week 2, 2.1 industry growth is a discussion. So that is a discussion board with response posts. It has a 10% weight. Everything that has a grade weight is graded. Community discussions, these boards themselves, these particular discussions are for you guys to answer a themed question and start a dialogue. Get to know your class members so you know where that is. Group project is only for a campus class. We do not have a group project for the online. It is very difficult to manage group work online. So we have other things that are going to be taking care of that for you. All right, does that make sense? Now, with that being said, you guys need to prep yourself because there is group work coming up in your life here at Full Sail, even in an online environment. And for almost all of you in your industries, it is group-based, all of them. Almost every single one of them, you're on a team. So group work, it will pretty much be part of your life from now until you retire. Oh, I am sorry about all this congestion. Oh, that's the wrong one. We need this one. So we're going to talk about the plane of attack. And the plane of attack assignment is a little bit different. I know in your previous classes, some of them you went and you did like a calendar. How's it work in psychology of play? I can't remember the 3 categories they have. It's like play, push, and one other thing. Work, right? Fit. Okay, yes. Play, push, work, and fit. There you go. Thank you very much. And in those, that was very much a how your week is structured and where you're fitting stuff in. The plan of attack isn't that kind of calendar tool, and it isn't that kind of planning tool. Who here has a busy life with a family or a significant other or a lot of friends or work or 2 jobs or church obligations or obligations for a civil group or volunteer work or any of that? Yeah, well, you have that and school, right? So what I want you to keep in mind, and I'll go over some of this briefly, is when we go down here, I want that open, please. When we go into this assignment itself, this is an example. Now, on first glance, some of you may go, that looks a lot like a schedule that, I have to figure out what I'm doing. It is not. The objective of this assignment is to help you, my visual learners, put in all of your life obligations. That, as an example, Thursday, our washer and dryer died, so we have to get a new washer and dryer delivered. So that's sometime Thursday afternoon. So on my Thursday afternoon, I would put washer dryer. I have homework assignments that might be due Sunday night, so I would want to schedule a little bit of time Tuesday to look at them and maybe work on it a little Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I would suggest you not wait till Sunday to do stuff if at all possible. But what happens inevitably is we forget little things. As an example, I am also a father. So Monday and Wednesday, right after work, I go pick up my little girl and I bring her to her Taekwondo class for an hour. You forget mentally sometimes and you think, oh, you know what? I'll work on that project Monday afternoon. I'll finish work, I'll go home, and I'll knock it out in a few hours. Oh no, see, there's a bottleneck there. That's a conflict. That's what this schedule's for. To show you visually in an easy manner where you might have conflicts, where you have real life events that conflict with or would restrict the time you can work on your assignments. Not so that I can hold you to it and say, Thursday, you said you were going to work on 1.1. No, it's so that on Thursday, you can say, crap, I have to work a double Thursday, so I'm going to have to do my homework on Wednesday this week. So, do you understand what I mean with the objective here? The objective is Warframe time, school time, and daughter time. Well, Daniel, that sounds like a solid plan. You'll have other stuff, though. You got to get groceries, and you have to do chores and clean up maybe the house or cook dinner and that kind of stuff, too. So, Warframe's new patch is super awesome. But I don't want to, I digress. What I want you to do on your particular schedule is put down every real life obligation you can think of. It does not have to be an appointment. It does not have to be a concrete work schedule. People always are like, I don't know my work schedule for week 4. What I want to see is your real life stuff and when you're going to work on your assignments. Because you can see on this example, Thursday, work on assignments, work on assignments, work on assignments, work on assignments. You know what? Something might actually come up on a Thursday. So this is a tool not for scheduling in concrete when the hell you're going to be working on stuff. This is a tool for you to visually be able to track when you might have conflicts between work and real life and school. Not that school's not real life, but you know what I mean, right? We understand? So, going back to our assignment, you can use that provided template. It looks pretty much like what you saw below, except it's all black and white. What you submit should not be black and white. You can color code it. You can do anything you want design-wise. You can also make a rondelle. You can make a visual cloud of all the different things you have to do on different days. As long as visually I can understand what it is you're doing and what it is you're showing. Because this is a visual aid for you to see conflicts between real life, work, and when you think you're going to be working on homework. As an FYI, every single week, you'll have at least 5 to 10 hours of homework for this particular class, depending on how tech savvy you are and how good you are at research. Usually, you're going to be in the 10 to 20 category. So please keep that in mind. You can go as crazy bonkers creative on this plan of attack as you want, but it needs to have the information that you see presented on the rubric. So why do you think I would have something like a backup plan and backup internet? Why would I have a location where I could get backup internet? What might happen where I would need to figure out ahead of time where I'm going to use internet to upload an assignment? Power outage. Yes. Internet goes out. Yes. Snowstorms. Yes. Hurricanes down here. Yes. Tornadoes. Yes. Forest fires. Yes. Deployment. Yes. All sorts of things. It happens. You're in tech fields. You're going to have future times in your life where you are working on something and your computer just locks up for no reason. And whatever it is you've been working on, if you did not save it recently, you lose everything you've been working on. FYI, in the work world, that is still actually due at whatever deadline they have set for you in the professional world. If you're supposed to roll out a game on February 1st, that game's going February 1st. So you have to have stuff in place to take care of this stuff, okay? So again, you can see here the bare minimum requirements on the PDF over here. Those are the minimum requirements for you to pass this assignment. If you do just the minimum, and you can look at our rubric, which is at the very bottom, the very minimum is going to get you a solid proficient 80. Okay? So if you want to maximize your grade on this, every assignment has a PDF, every assignment has a rubric, and this rubric is going to show you where your grade should fall. Now these are ranges. So basically from 10 to 14 points, you're going to be in the proficient category based on which of these you have and which of these you messed up. Keep that in mind. This is not a concrete plan. This is not something that I'm going to hold you to. It's not something you even need to necessarily hold yourself to. What it's for is for you to map out when and how you're going to be able to work on projects this month. It's always good to see, even at the start right now, if you look and you go, oh, you know what, there's more assignments in week 2. Or there's more assignments in week 3, so I'm going to need more time. I can't just do that all on Saturday. Be prepared ahead of time. So it's that preparation that's going to help you succeed and be successful in this particular thing. Alicia, you are not graded for how early you turned it in. You are graded on whether you submit it by the deadline or not. So if you are after the deadline, you do lose points. Almost all of my ACDs and myself take work late, but you lose points every single day that it's late. And we only accept late work if you've contacted us ahead of time. So that doesn't mean at 11:55 on Sunday evening that you say, hey, Mr. Lionel, I'm not going to be able to complete this assignment. Can I possibly turn it in late? You know as well as I do that Sunday afternoon, you know if there's no chance in hell of you finishing an assignment. So be proactive. Own up to your procrastination. We all have it. We're nerds. All nerds procrastinate. But get it done. Own up for it. This is your class. This is where you're going to be learning about your industry and deciding if it's a good fit for you. So don't waste your time by half-assing your research. It's research about what you say you want to do for your life. Invest some time in it. All right, that's all. Joseph, if you're a day ahead, everything is U.S. dates and U.S. Eastern Standard Time. So Eastern Coast time. So I believe that will put you Saturday, yours not a whole 12 hours. So Saturday near there. Saturday near like 9 p.m. or 6 p.m., I believe. It should actually show you on FSO with your time zone when that work is due. It should show the adjusted due dates. Yes. All right, so Monday at 6 p.m. is when it starts. Interesting. Huh. All right, so your deadlines should show pretty much Monday 6 p.m. as your submission deadlines. Okay, Amy, sorry everybody, I got a message from somebody. That's totally fine, Amy. There will be a recorded archive as well, so you should be good to go. So when you're working on your plan of attack, guys, we have our minimum expectations all laid out here. Do not just glance over this and go, oh, I'm good. That's what I did. This is a video that covers the essentials on how you're going to lay stuff out and how you can save as a single page PDF. Here are links that might help you with this. Exporting an Excel doc to Google Drive, which is what our template is, etc., etc. We have the template down here. We have a one-page save movie to tell you how to do that. We have the PDF of the assignment itself that gives you all the details, and if you go to the rubric, the specifics we're looking for your particular grade. Joseph, whatever actually works for you. So I would use your dates and times so that it's directly relevant and makes sense to you. All right? But be sure to utilize these resources for each of the assignments, and you'll be good to go. Now, for this particular one, you're going to submit here. You'll have a little submission window here. As an FYI, if you're not too familiar with FSO at this point, your completion submission window is a multi-part process. So, what that means is I can't access the student side, sadly. So what that means is if you drag and drop your file or select your file, your saved single-page landscape PDF of your plan of attack. What you need to do with that particular thing is upload it to FSO, right? So the first thing you do is tell the little upload window, either you drag your file into it or you tell it where your file is. It's going to show you a little red bar under that window. That is the progress of your upload. When that is complete, your file will appear under your little submission window. You are not done submitting the assignment at that stage. That is simply uploading it to the page, just like as a digital form. What last final step is absolutely essential to actually turn work in on FSO? You've already uploaded it. What's the last thing you need to do to actually get it to be submitted? Yes, yes, it won't be marked as completed until you actually hit that submit button. Okay? So please, please don't email me Monday telling me how you uploaded it, you don't know what happened. Well, you didn't. FSO doesn't have it out for you. They're not lying to you. There's no file there. It says you didn't submit anything. Because you probably uploaded the file and never hit submit. So please, please, please hit submit, and check. Do you know a quick visual way to see if your assignment has been uploaded? It's on the screen now. Right here. You see this little circle? That check mark will be, forgive me, I'm colorblind. I think it's red, orange when you submit. There will be a ring around here, and the check mark will be orange. That lets you know you have submitted this assignment. If this is not a check mark, you have not submitted the assignment. Okay? So this one, plan of attack, follow these steps. These are minimum expectations. Go as crazy creative as you want. You can use the template or not. One sec, gotta get some water. Okay, gonna try again. The paragraph part is pretty easy. It is just like 3 to 5 sentences on how you're going to actually use this plan, if you're going to reference it daily, if you're going to submit it on FSO and then never look at it for the rest of the month, etc., etc. I suggest you print it out so that you have access to it. If you don't have a printer, take a screenshot, put it somewhere in your desktop, put it somewhere in your email so that you can see what it is you're trying to do here, the visual interaction that we're talking about, that the objective is. An email signature is your name, your course, what section you're in, and usually what term you are. So like you guys are 01 2019, some of you are section 1, some of you are section 2. All that information is on FSO, either the connect aspect or when you click on the class itself, you'll see in the top left of your class screen, you'll see what section and course code you're in. So it should be your name, the course name, what section you're in, and what term you're in. Brian, do you happen to know if on our roster on FSO, does it show you as Hanson Hardwick, or does it just show you as one? Okay. Then yes, it's okay if you just have one of the 2 last names. As long as you're logged on, obviously, and you submit, it'll still be tagged as Hanson Hardwick for the system. So it'll be associated with your account and we'll be good to go. But you can just use one of your last names. So please remember the objective of the plan of attack is to help you. Literally, this assignment is to help you look at what you're going to be doing this month in this class. Write it all down on the calendar when you think you're going to be able to work on your homework. Roughly when you plan to work on your homework. And it's not, again, something I'm grading. If you are being honest with yourself and you're like, Sunday evening at 6 p.m. until midnight, I'm doing homework for TEM. That's okay, as long as you know it. This is for you. And when I say it's okay, I don't suggest that. You're probably not going to succeed. But, I mean, it's your life. This calendar and this plan of attack is for you to see where you might have a conflict. So it'd be important to know, oh, you know what? I forgot I'm actually supposed to go do a thing on that Sunday evening. So you might want to do your homework on Saturday, right? So that's what this is for. Make sure you make it relevant and useful for you. You want to save it out as a single page landscape PDF. Single page landscape PDF. And that's what you're going to be submitting on FSO with a proper name as detailed on the assignment, okay? As long as you do those steps, you'll be good to go. Any questions on 1.1? Okay. Let me close that. Sadly, all the go-to windows overlay everything on my screen, so it's hard to see stuff. 1.2. This confuses people. They get all befuddled and they don't understand what an industry website is or what they're supposed to do. This paragraph here pretty much spells it out. Okay? You are looking for, now I will provide a list down below on the PDF of various websites for you to use. Oh, actually, this should be the active link right here. Doop. Boof. Whole bunch of websites. These are just starting points. These are by no means an exhaustive list. They're to show you what it is I'm talking about, so that you have an understanding of what might be a quote-unquote professional website. These are articles for developers here. These are not like casual reader things. So some of these you might not understand. But as a mobile developer, these are the kind of websites you're going to want to look at to see what people are working at, to see how they're going. Jennifer, I'll get to that when we get towards the end of this. So this list is just to get you started. What I want you to remember and get from this is what websites your industry might use, who the main leader companies and people are in your field, what direction is the industry headed in, are there new trends, are there things people are updating and saying this is awesome or this really needs to be fixed, and how can that help you? Staying current with that information is going to help you grow. It is going to help you be prepared in your industry. So, for this assignment, you will, if we look here, I have to move my chat window, you will pick at least. Now, what do we think at least might imply? What would the term at least probably? Yes, there you go. No less than 3 websites from your degree. And I want one solid detailed paragraph for each site on whatever you found interesting about the site. How it was laid out, the articles that were on it, an article that you found, whatever. Be detailed. Do not bullshit me with sad-ass paragraph that looks like this. Okay? It's a waste of my time, and I will give you a really crap grade to reflect it. You're going to the website, spend some time looking at it, and then write down what it is that you found interesting, neat, or boring about the particular website. Please. Okay? That's all. That's all you have to do for this part. The next part is you're going to go pick 2 websites, at least, from a different degree that's still within this course. Okay? So any other degree, they do not have to be the same. So you'll have 3 if you're in game design. You'll have 3 for game design. You might have 1 for mobile development, and you might have 1 for game art. Okay? If you check the rubric, you will see that if you go above 5, then you do score higher. 5 alone should put you in, I think, an 85 category, depending on the paragraphs and stuff like that. So 5 paragraphs minimum, 3 from your industry, 2 from any other degrees, and you can mix them up, or you could focus on one other particular degree you might be interested in. And those paragraphs are going to be a little bit different. It's going to be, how is the information presented? Is there similarities? Do you think it's related? What did you learn about the industry by going there? That kind of stuff. Okay? So make sure you go below and you grab the PDF. It's down here. Right there. And it gives you a narrow overview over what we're looking for. 1 through 3. This is at minimum what we need. Someone asked earlier about citations. This is pretty much what I want for your citation. Give me the name of the site and an active URL. Now, an active URL means, let's see. So if I go here, Board Game Geek. This is my web link, okay? That's my full URL address. If I copy and paste that, that allows me to go and see exactly the website it is you went to, right? That's what we're looking for. I need to be able to get there. Yes, Deborah, you can just double check them. Sometimes tiny URLs act up when I try to follow them to the website itself. So just check. You can use tinyURL. If you don't know what that is, guys, it takes a giant. This one's a bad example of it, but if you go to, let's see, this, and then you click up here, you see this is much, much longer because it now has a board game category. It has the ID number of the game. It has the name of the game. So this is starting to get a bit longer. Some of them will extend out past that, and you'll have to scroll to get all of it. So tinyURL is something that takes that whole huge URL and puts it into a super tiny, literally a tiny thing that might just say that. And then when I click on that, it'll actually bring me to the full thing. So just double check them. The URLs don't necessarily need to be hyperlinked as long as I can copy and paste it. If you use tiny URLs, they do need to be hyperlinked because you can't paste in tiny URL sometimes and it acts a little wonky. So keep that in mind. Make sure you double check so that your instructor can actually access what it is that you need them to get to. And that's it. All I want for your citations on these particular degree programs is a link to the website. And then talk about it. That's all. You will be submitting this as a PDF. If you do not know how to save as a PDF, whatever it is you're writing in, it can be any program you want, do a Google search for how do I export as a PDF, and make sure you name your PDF, last name, first name, and assignment. Okay? Last name, first name, underscore, assignment. And once you do that, you're good to go. Now, I want you, mentions a fun template. What? Hold on one sec. Oh, that's the wrong spot. Let me see what it is you mean. Rubric. Oh, that's the making it yours categories. Let me see. Do we have an example in here? Yes. All right. So if we look at the far right, that's bad. Usually what we get is this middle one, which is okay. You use some headers. They use different sizes. They have the information easy to read, and they have their paragraph. This is okay in the middle. This is bad on the right. Okay, there's no that. I'm not asking for a paper. I'm asking you to dig into the industry you're telling me you want to go to, that you're hopefully here at Full Sail to learn about, that hopefully you have some passion about. And I want you to research and find out what the hell is going on in that industry. Websites that people in your industry can go to find information about what other people are working. So hopefully you don't half-ass it and give me stuff like a giant paragraph of these on the side here. I want at least what we have here in the middle. Now, making it fun is over here on the left. They included images. Some people go much, much more graphic heavy. You can use Keynote. You can use PowerPoint. You can use all of those to make a much more graphic-based presentation, as long as all of the other physical requirements of the rubric are met. So you still need a URL, website name, you need your paragraph, etc., etc., etc. But you can be as creative and as fun as you want in this, okay? As long as you export it, save it as a PDF, submit that, you'll be good to go. All right? So, any questions on 1.2? Here's a good example, too. See, we have this. This is per website, all fancy. Nope, Joshua, you can use anything. As long as you have an ability to export as a PDF, you are good. You can be as graphic heavy as you want. You can... One sec. If you really know your way around Photoshop, you can use Photoshop. But if you know your way around Photoshop, you generally will have through Full Sail, some of you may now, some of you may not, have access to the Creative Cloud. And if you have access to the Creative Cloud, then you're going to be able to work in InDesign. And InDesign is what people use for all print everywhere all the time. So who knows? Might be worth your time to go into InDesign and figure out how to do the layout in that. As long as when you submit it, I have a PDF, and the PDF has at least 5 websites, and it's a little bit customized. Okay? That's what I want from you guys. Yeah, some of you might have access earlier because of your situation, but some of you might not. And I highly, 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 highly suggest. Let me see. If you go here to connect as a student, the best kept secret is right here on Connect. Does anyone see this? Everyone see this right there? Lynda.com. Because if you go, hey, you know what? I would like to figure out how to use InDesign. Okay. So we go here. This is Lynda. We go InDesign. Look, here's a that's a 6-minute example video, but this is a oh God, that might be a little too much. That's a 32-hour class on InDesign. Maybe a little more than you need. But Lynda and all these classes are free. So if you're a developer, you can go C#. You can go C++. And all of this is here for you. No, it's all free. It is part of your enrollment while you are here at Full Sail. Yeah, okay, whatever. So if you go to Connect's homepage as a student, it's down here on the left-hand side. Where is it? There it is. Right above the military link. And then when you click on that, it should let you in. Amy, if you haven't heard from them, call them and say, hey, I'm trying to access my lynda.com through Full Sail Connect. You generally have to go through Connect. So if you had a Lynda account or you're going to Lynda, you can't just go like type lynda.com and go. It has to be through the Connect portal, through this link, through the accesslynda.com. That signs you on through your Full Sail student account. Charles has a question about 1.1 for the plane of attack. Do we just upload it with this week's info? Nope, whole month. Rough it out for the whole month for me. Should have everything roughed in. And part of it is a time estimate. Now the time estimate and the time you actually put into it, you should have a time estimate for everything. I've unlocked every single thing for you. So for how long you think it's going to take you, I expect you to go to the assignments page, look over what I'm asking for, and figure out how long that might take you. I don't know you. I don't know your work ethics. You make your best guess. I'm not holding you to it. You make your best guess. Then, on time completed, the actual time, you're only obviously for this mission going to be able to do that for week 1. The week 1 assignments and how long it actually took you, right? So for week 1 is the only one you'll have the actual time for. In weeks 2, 3, and 4, you are welcome to go back and see, and you do not have to resubmit. I'm not checking for updates. What that's for is, so say 1.1 you look at and you go, whatever, I can half-ass that in like 45 minutes. And you put down 45 minutes. That's okay. You're not offending me by putting down 45 minutes. But then when you actually sit down to do it, it takes you 6 hours because you're trying to make it pretty and you're bringing graphics in and you're customizing and you're doing all this stuff, right? Well, what I want you to do and what I want you to get out of 1.1 is not, oh, I was wrong. I want you to go, Oh, okay. I thought an hour. It took me 5 hours. So I should probably keep that in mind for these future assignments this month, so I'm working at the pace I need to work at. That make sense? Okay. Let's see. We have Brian. No, you do not have to cite images for 1.2. I just need the website link. 1.1 said print a picture of the plan printed out and hung up. Yes, a cell phone image of that would be totally sufficient. You can also not print it out and take a screenshot of it and show me that you have that done. Take a screen capture of it somewhere, or take a picture on your cell phone and email it to yourself and include it on your document, that kind of stuff. Joseph asks, if you use PowerPoint, does the paragraph still have to be in paragraph form or can it be bulleted? Well, let's see. Is a bulleted list the same as a paragraph? Correct. It is not the same. So, um, some instructors might be okay with it. So if you're not in my sections, it might squeak through. No, Bayuna, you get access to Linda your entire time here at Full Sail. So for two and a half years, however long you're here with us, you get. But I would prefer to actually have paragraphs and not bulleted lists. Okay, so please try to steer it in that way. What else? We had another one. Bullet paragraph, still not what I'm looking for. Regular paragraph, please. What about physically writing it out versus printing? You can, Brian. The printing isn't like something I'm not grading on whether you printed it or not. The focus of the assignment again is for you personally, not your instructor, to see where you might have conflicts with real life responsibilities versus schoolwork and when you were planning to do schoolwork. So having the actual plane of attack posted somewhere for you to see is part of the intent of the assignment. So that's all. It's just sharing it at that point. I'm not grading on whether you printed it out or not. Take a screenshot, make it your desktop, that kind of thing. Put it as a screensaver on your phone, just anything, so that visually you can see it and go, oh, I was going to go watch, Into the Spider-Verse today, and I forgot this is when I was going to do my homework. That kind of thing. That's all. It's just to help you navigate the busy schedule this month, because it gets much busier as you pass through my class. All right? Any other questions before we talk about Spider-Ham? Questions? All right, good. I am a dad. I have a 9-year-old. So, unfortunately, even before I had her, I'm a giant fan of what's apparently categorized as dad jokes. So, I'm going to wrap up this particular session with one of my favorites. Why did Tigger have his head in the toilet? He was looking for poo. See? I got other dads out there. Love you guys. Love you guys. And if you're booing, it's only because you don't have a good sense of humor. My wife says my jokes are bad and they get worse if I have coffee. Such is life. She married me 16 years, so, you get used to them. Oh, there's some good puns. There's a hilarious article, by the way. I don't think I can type any of it appropriately. Let me see. Hold on one second, because it's funny. So, is anyone here familiar with a soup called pho? Vietnamese soup? Okay. There is a town called Keating. No. Keating, yes. So the name of the shop, that's the name of the shop. Keene is the name of the town it's in, and they're just saying they have great noodle soup. But unfortunately, that's a whole big thing. But that led down a rabbit hole of pho puns that were just amazing. It's like, is anyone here in Central Florida? Okay. Near the university campus, there's a spectacular place called Vietnam's. It's a pho place. They sell like street food, so like street tacos and stuff like that from Vietnam. But they have a whole bunch of puns. Like they have how about it, stuff like that. It's just so bad. It's so bad, and it makes me happy every single time I go.